biggest honor. The Empire State Building glows Rutgers red. A salute to the 8-0 Scarlet Knights, whose kingdom sits 40 miles to the west. It's the birthplace of college football, traced to a backyard battle with Princeton in 1869, won by Rutgers 6-4. But this campus is in a football frenzy never witnessed at Rutgers. Students snagging up 10,000 tickets in 4 hours Tuesday, bracing for the biggest moment ever. Now Louisville's already tasted triumph, a signature win against West Virginia, but the celebrations died down now. Back to business, another battle of unbeatens in prime time. And welcome to College Football Primetime, presented by Applebee's. Rutgers Stadium in Piscataway, New Jersey, bracing for its biggest game ever. They could have sold out a stadium twice this size. 8-0 Louisville and 8-0 Rutgers. It's a battle for Big East supremacy, but still a long way to go in this conference, not even halfway through. Rutgers still has a game at West Virginia. Louisville playing for higher stakes. They're up to number 3 in the BCS, and they're on track for that national championship game.
There's no trouble selling tickets tonight. Extra bleachers brought in, and a frenzy, the biggest on-campus Rutgers game in at least 137 years since they took on Princeton in that very first college football game. Rutgers 8-0. Louisville, well, they were the hosts in a game very much like this a week ago. They took care of business, knocking off West Virginia. They climbed to number 3 in the BCS, and all eyes around the country who are a fan of the SEC, the Big Ten, the Pac-10, Texas perhaps, wanting to see how Louisville will respond here on the road against an undefeated Rutgers team.
Well, if you're a fan of college football, you're a fan of this game, because this game has BCS implications. And whether you're a Louisville fan or you're at home saying, let's go Cardinals, or Chris, as you said, you're a fan of one of the other one-loss teams, you are watching and very interested to see the result of this game, as you said, round 2 in this Big East clash after last week's game with West Virginia. Well, I think the thing that I really noticed last week, seeing a healthy Brohm, is that Louisville's offense can get on the field with any defense in the country and have a chance to execute. And it's going to be a challenge for the Scarlet Knights. I know that's their strength. They play great defense. They're going to have to feel the energy from this crowd to have a chance to slow down the balance from Louisville's attack. They go well over 200 yards rushing and passing, and that balance is tough to stop.
Does it surprise you that Rutgers won the toss and wants the football right away? No deferring to the second half. They say, give us the football. Perhaps a chance to chew clock right away. They've been a very good first quarter team, and more importantly, keep Brohm off the field.
I think it plays right into the hands of Schiano and what he wants to do as a head coach. He's talked about a vision, and Aaron Andrews talked to him about it before the game. I think they're welcoming that by saying, we'll take the ball. We're not going to hide. We're not going to be afraid of Bobby Petrino and the fact that they obviously want the ball first. We'll take the ball, and we'll throw our team out there to see what we can do with Mike Teal, who I think, again, is going to have a big night throwing the ball. Needs to get off to a very good start, the young quarterback, I think, to give Rutgers a chance in this game.
Well, we need help from that offensive line, which has played so well, and Ray Rice, who averages more carries than any running back in the country. Is Rutgers up to it? Their crowd certainly is. Todd Flannery to boot it away for the undefeated Cardinals. It's Willie Foster and James Townsend deep for the undefeated Scarlet Knights.
What a scene.
Very short kick. It's taken at the 12-yard line. Rutgers looks like they have a fake reverse on, and cutting inside is Townsend. Louisville's coverage team not really fooled, and the Knights will start at the 20-yard line. It's a Rutgers team built around the running game, and the guys up front are very, very important. Pedro Sosa and Zuda, NFL-bound tackles. The coaches here believe the guards have been a pleasant surprise.
This offensive line will be tested tonight, but it's the strength of this team. You know, a lot of teams have tried to stop Rutgers and Ray Rice by putting 8 or 9 guys at the line of scrimmage. I think Louisville will do that tonight. Puts a lot more pressure on the offensive line, although here they're coming out in a 4-wide receiver set on the first play.
It's the senior Brian Leonard to the right of Teal, and they motion Clark Harris, the tight end, back in a split formation, and Teal's going to throw long in the first play. Had a man overthrew him. He was looking for Kenny Britt, the talented true freshman who had a step on William Gay, just overthrown.
I love the call by Greg Schiano and his offensive coordinator, Craig Versteeg. Not only do they take the ball, which is surprising, they're going to go it one back, 4 receivers, and they're going to challenge the best corner on Louisville's team, William Gay, and he had his man open. It was just a matter of trying to convert. But great call there to challenge this Louisville defense.
What's the call now on 2nd and 10? It's Leonard, the setback. And the senior gets it, cuts back, has a crease. Fights forward and has a first down. This is Brian Leonard, who's taken a back seat this year as Rice has gotten the lion's share of the offensive duties. But he's become a much better blocker, very good receiver. They will challenge a Louisville defense that makes some changes up front. You've got Cox and Grady that look for a more physical defensive line than what they typically start.
The defense, we just talked about up front. Okoye will have to have a big game, 91. He played so well last week against West Virginia's offensive line. And right there, Rutgers hit a crease.
And now it's the first carry for Rice. Running left, has a gap, and is slammed to the turf by Preston Smith and Latarius Thomas, but a nice gain for Rice. Rice is the sophomore out of New Rochelle, New York. That's suburban New York City.
A couple of tight ends, and you get a really good indication of how many white jerseys are up at the line of scrimmage. You're talking about 8 or 9 guys up inside the box, and yet still Ray Rice is able to find the crease there and pick up 6 yards on 1st and 10. First down yardage crucial for Rutgers.
Rice motioning to the top of the formation. He's a wide receiver. Louisville pays attention to him. Finally, they go inside the Britt, the freshman. A flag flies as he gets first down yardage across the 40. This is the big recruit, the 6'4", 205-pound receiver out of Bayonne, New Jersey.
Face mask, number 27 on the defense. 5-yard penalty for the end of the play. First down.
Gavin Smart guilty of the penalty. Britt only has 2 catches coming into this game, Kirk, but they seem intent on involving him.
Yeah, I really am impressed right now with the way, and it's very early in the game, the way they've decided to attack with Mike Teal. Mike Teal's the question mark on this offense, but they have decided to, instead of hiding from that and waiting till 3rd down, put the ball into his hands early in the game and give him a chance to be successful on easier passing downs.
It's Britt in motion. Teal hands to Rice. Rice bouncing straight ahead at 5'9", 195. You see the straight ahead strength of Rice. Brandon Sharp, the safety, on the stop.
And the thing about Mike Teal that I've noticed in studying him and getting ready for this game, there it is. When you're 23-0 at Don Bosco Prep, one of the better high school programs, not only in the East Coast, but throughout the country, tells you a lot about his attitude. Back-to-back state titles in New Jersey, great high school football in New Jersey. Overall, now 33-1 as a starting quarterback here at Rutgers, and going back and looking at his high school days, the only loss to Louisville last year. So he is a winner. Tonight, they're giving him a chance.
He's improved his decision-making a lot because he's had a lot of interception problems in his career. Here he flips it over the middle, incomplete. Coaches love Teal. I mean, they say he is a winner. He knows how to perform under pressure, but he's a little bit eager sometimes to try to fit the ball in there, make a decision. And last year, as a freshman, had a lot of interception problems. Right. This year, he's cleaned it up a bit.
He threw 10 interceptions last year, just over 100 attempts. You're talking about 10% of your throws that are intercepted. A lot of that is just youth and inexperience, maybe trying to force some things, predetermine where you might go with the football. But this will have to be his best game of his career for them to be able to move the ball against Louisville.
His first pressure situation on 3rd down, 3rd and 7. Pressure up the middle. He was hit as he threw the ball and batted away incomplete. So Louisville brought the blitz. Teal stood in there, but took a shot as he let the ball go.
Louisville is a zone blitz team. They like to bring pressure. That time, Nate Harris came right up the middle. And I think there was enough confusion on the offensive line. They were able to get to Teal before he was ready to throw. He had an open man downfield.
Part of Rutgers' component, a good punter, Joe Radigan, the senior, 2nd in the nation, 46 yards a punt. And back deep is Trent Guy, who took one to the house against the Mountaineers a week ago in a short punt. Radigan unloads a high, deep kick that Guy will let bounce, and it's going to head into the end zone. Touchback. 50 yards on the punt. So Rutgers, an impressive start to the drive. It stalls, and Louisville's first possession will start at its 20. Colby Smith, the setback in the I formation. Louisville's first play of the night. It's a play action fake, and Brohm wants to fire deep over the middle. Has a man open, and Douglas collects it inside the Rutgers 35. Ball pops loose. They're saying down, no fumble. No fumble. It's a catch and a completion of 45 yards on Louisville's first play to silence this big crowd. So successful in first down throws last week, Kirk.
Well, that is one way to silence a crowd, and you have three receivers. Douglas works to the middle, and it's tough for Rincart, the linebacker, with two safeties in the middle of the field, Chris. It's up to the linebacker to try to stay with a third receiver, and Douglas just too much speed for him. He outran him, and a great throw by Brohm.
It's Colby Smith. He's strung out and smacked to the ground. The Louisville offense, it was Urrutia and Douglas, each with 6 catches last week. Barnage, the tight end, got shut out by West Virginia, first time in a long time.
And Urrutia and Douglas going over 100 yards receiving each against West Virginia. So it's a team that gets the ball downfield in a hurry, as they did on that first play.
They barely got set before the ball was snapped. Brock Bowen, the fullback, was dropped for a loss. The Scarlet Knight defense, number 2 in yards allowed, number 2 in points allowed. Very quick, undersized. You know, Foster only 260, Meekins only 275, but they're very active.
Very active, and if you, as a fan at home, I want you to watch Rutgers' defensive line and how much twisting and stunning they do on almost every play.
The Knights believe that they will show defensive speed that Brohm has not seen before this year, and they played Miami. On 3rd and long, Brohm has plenty of time, fires over the middle. It is complete to Urrutia, who has a first down inside the 25. Another on-target throw by Brian Brohm. Courtney Green there on the stop, 16 yards. Continuation of what we saw last week when Brohm just carved up West Virginia. So efficient. And Rutgers, after driving near midfield on its first possession, this is what they were afraid of. Louisville landing the big blow in their first play, 45 yards, and then a nice conversion on 3rd down. What a scene here. But Louisville could quiet them all down if they could find the end zone here.
Now that Louisville's able to move the chains, look for them to attack on the 1st and 10. They've had a lot of success throwing the football.
It's Smith, straight up the middle, running through arm tackles and crawling to the 15. Gets 8.
Smith, the ball carrier.
Well, Chris, this time they're lining up in a 3-receiver set. They're moving the tight end that time to get in position. It's all about blocking angles, and Eric Wood, their center, one of the best in the Big East, able to get to that 2nd level, and just a nice push. And the fact you have to almost guess with Louisville's defense with the run and versus the pass and the balance that they have, it makes it tough on a defense to know what to expect the next play.
Smith again. That's right. Gets hammered at the 10, but will set up a 1st and goal for the Cardinals. Colby Smith, the guy replacing Michael Bush, who broke his leg way back in the Kentucky game early in the season. Such a shocking injury for this team, and Colby Smith took a long time to kind of adjust to the starter's role. He said he was really pressing.
1st down and goal.
He's come to his own the last couple of games.
Now that he's been more instinctive, one of the other things that's helped him is number 42 coming into the game, the true freshman who's in now. Anthony Allen has much better size once they get inside the 10-yard line.
Allen had a couple of touchdowns against West Virginia. Brohm, again, plenty of time, dumps it short to Douglas across the middle. Being chased down by the linebacker, Brandon Rincart, and dragged down at the 3. So immediately, the speed of Harry Douglas finding creases in that Rutgers defense.
Well, they're also doing a good job of just clearing out the zone. Great time here. What they do is they just simply clear out and then come underneath. You have your tight ends that are just doing their job as far as trying to get vertical. And look how the defense runs downfield with Kuhn, leaving a huge vacancy underneath for Harry Douglas to step into.
2nd and goal at the 2. Handed off to the big freshman who powers to the end zone, touchdown. Anthony Allen, right where he left off against the Mountaineers last week.
Allen, the ball carrier for Louisville, touchdown.
And Schiano's defense marched on as Petrino's offense goes 80 yards in 8 plays in about 5 minutes.
That's one way to start off a ball game when you're ranked 3rd in the nation. You're on the road. There's a lot of pressure. Rutgers' biggest home game in the history of the school. You stop them, force to punt, get the ball, and drive 80 yards in 8 plays. That's textbook on how you play on the road with pressure.
Art Carmody still perfect on point afters, 40 for 40. And Brian Brohm in that opening drive, 3 for 3, 74 yards. He got off to a great start with a 45-yard completion. Allen finishes the drive with a 2-yard touchdown. Can't quite see the Statue of Liberty in New York Harbor from Rutgers campus, but it's not too far away from the city in terms of miles. Now, you get some traffic that can feel like the longest 30-some mile drive you've ever taken.
What a beautiful drive-in yesterday from Newark, the airport.
Did you enjoy that? Yeah. You get some traffic now. That's when 37.8 can take an hour and a half.
That was...
Connecticut border not too far away. The point is, with that many people in this much close proximity to the campus, there's plenty of prospects and players, and this is fertile recruiting ground, which Schiano has tried to emphasize and is starting to do so with a lot more success. We'll get into that.
Great point about the 2-hour radius from this campus and how many high school football players are in this area.
Flannery boots it to James Townsend, who fights forward. We'll see what Rutgers can do in their second possession. Brian Leonard back in the game on 1st and 5. The Teal drops straight back, fires over the middle, overthrown, intercepted. It's intercepted by Gavin Smart. He was looking for Tyquan Underwood, and that is the 9th interception of the year for Teal.
The ball is thrown to the inside, allowing Smart to make the jump on the ball, and he does a good job of playing the ball. And this is your fear if you're a Rutgers fan, is Teal gets back, puts the ball where he thinks his receiver is going to make a tighter angle to the middle of the field, and Underwood didn't come towards the middle of the field. He went more upfield vertically. Very simple for Smart, who had his eyes on the quarterback, to step up and make the pick.
3rd and 13. Brohm, again, well protected. Flips over the middle, intercepted. Intercepted by DeVon Thompson, the linebacker. Still spinning into Louisville territory. Out of bounds inside the 25. And that's a defense stepping up when they really had to. Not just stopping the possession, but setting up the offense now.
But it's a great job of getting pressure on Brian Brohm. He got pressure from his left side, and I think it affected his throw, and it allowed the ball to come down to Thompson, and Thompson does a good job of not only making the catch, but also doing a good job of running with the ball. That's just getting pushed right back into the pocket. The defensive pressure, Westerman, the defensive lineman, didn't actually get to him. He just pushed Foster right back in to Brian Brohm.
So Teal will throw on 1st down. Fires over the way, caught, touchdown. Tyquan Underwood. Just a lightning quick turnaround in this game as Brian Brohm gets an earful from big brother Jeff about the interception.
He's been doing that since Brohm stepped off the field after the interception, but kudos to Rutgers for taking advantage. Just exactly what they needed to get back into this football game. Sudden change, their defense steps up, gets the interception back, and how about Mike Teal, after having a horrific throw, steps right in, makes the big throw to tie this game up.
Jeremy Ito tacks on the extra point, so Brohm will go back to work. But now it's a 7-7 game, and the Rutgers house is rocking again.
You name a player on the Rutgers football team.
That's sad. I know his last name's got to be Williams. There's always a Williams there somewhere.
His name escapes me for a second.
I don't know anything about Rutgers.
I don't even know what state the Rutgers are. We're not.
Yeah, Ray Rice.
Well, if you got a Times Square,
They don't know who.
90% of the people aren't from New York in the first place.
They don't know who Terrell Owens is.
They don't know what American football is, a lot of them.
Yeah.
But what is seen here, about 40 miles from Midtown Manhattan, as Rutgers has gotten on the board, striking quickly. About 4 plays ago, Louisville had a 7-zip lead and the football after an interception of Teal and a very poor throw. Suddenly, the defense gets it back, and he makes a gutsy throw.
That's exactly what had to happen for Mike Teal in this offense, is have some success like that and getting the ball down the field. At the end of the day, Teal has to make enough plays throwing to guys like Underwood to go back to their bread and butter, which is the running game. And by throwing, that sometimes can open up those running lanes.
Jawan Spillman runs it out of the end zone for Louisville, has a crease. Beats the kicker and takes it to the house. No flags. And a huge gasp from this sellout crowd. Louisville's return game had given him nothing all season long until the West Virginia game.
Until
when
we started
killing their special teams.
Killing them. You know, the last 2 weeks we've seen them. They've been the best special teams in the country.
Trito had a good thought though. Law of averages. Sooner or later we got to make a play.
Yeah, I want you to watch number one. Talking about making a play, Ito. I think he's trying to turn him back to the middle of the field, but my friend, you got to close the gap there a little bit, make a little bit of an effort. Spillman has such great speed, but once he got out into the open lane, it was almost just tough to watch that poor kicker in the open field try to make that play.
And it's blocked, the extra point. And they pick it up. It's Stripling trying to run it in the end zone, and he gets in. Well, Rutgers kind of fell asleep after blocking the kick. And Stripling able to run it in, the one-point conversion. So, first of all, a nice job, and it's Allen, the freshman, who scored the touchdown earlier, picking it up and taking it in.
There's something you'll see every day.
Special teams play again.
We've had a lot of action here the last couple games that have happened fast, and right now we're in the middle of it. I'm surprised to see everybody from Rutgers
grab the ball, fellas, just following it.
Gets out of the way, and you know that's sometimes an instinct because you're so used to, like on a punt, to get away from the football. But that time they get away from the ball, and Allen looks around thinking, I'm just going to pick it up and take it into the end zone, and ends up converting for the Cardinals. But boy, what a change of events back and forth for both these teams.
Flannery to kick off, and it's a short one. Once again, James Townsend mishandles it momentarily and is forced out at the 16-yard line. He had 9 offensive plays, Kirk. 6 have been passes, which goes strongly against the pattern. Now they go back to plan A, and it's Rice who's collared by Malik Jackson. The Sam linebacker flew in there and horse-collared the running back.
Well, I think that's what Louisville, and I think anybody else who plays Rutgers wants to see, is do they have that kind of balance? They came into tonight's game averaging 193 yards on the ground, 12th in the nation, the 3rd leading rusher in the country, only 128 yards through the air, 114th in the nation. If you're playing them, you're going to put everybody up to try to stop that running game.
Rutgers still has confidence they can run on anybody, but that'll be tested tonight. The blitz is picked up. Teal has time over the middle, incomplete, and laying a huge lick on the receiver was Brandon Sharp. Flag is down back at the line of scrimmage.
Holding, number 77 on the offense. Penalty is declined. It will be 3rd down.
It's the big junior Sosa. Watch the hit by Sharp.
Well, they're trying to get the ball to Underwood, and again, opportunity one-on-one. Boom. I think he dropped the ball because he knew what was coming. You come across the middle against any good defense, and you have to be ready to protect yourself.
You know what's coming. You better look up and brace, man.
And Underwood, I think, knew that he had a safety, and Brandon Sharp closing in on him. The ball actually went through his hands before Sharp even had to hit him.
Right side of the game is Leonard, the setback, who's a blocker on this 3rd long, and it's caught by Underwood. Well, the young guy bounces right back, takes the big blow, but makes the 3rd down catch before Gay forces him out. Gain of 12. Good toughness. Get lit up one play, come right back, make a nice hands catch the next.
Yeah, and he has shown some toughness. The ball came loose after he made the catch. I was surprised to see how quickly they said it was a completion, because watch the ball come flying out.
And now an official has run in and overruled the initial call, incomplete.
It's a tough angle there. This will be a better angle. You'll see. I just want to see if he's able to hold the ball while he's... Now, that ball came out. It's a good call. by the officials to correct the mistake on the field, and it forces the punt. But you're right, it was a good effort there, but he gets hit again.
I take it back because he dropped the ball, okay? So he wasn't that tough. Radigan needs a good punt here. Louisville brought pressure. Here's a pretty good kick. Taken at the 35 and plowing straight ahead his guy. Short return. Again, if you just joined us, the Empire State Building often is lit up to salute the season or a special occasion. Rutgers red tonight with the biggest game in history of this campus. They must have some connections over there. Get that done. Brohm, another first down throw. Tucks it and just gets a couple yards. Meekins chased him out. Brohm will not set the world on fire as a runner.
Well, that time he didn't have great protection, and the pocket closed in on him. Ramel Meekins put the pressure, Chris, as you said. But one thing about Rutgers is they're third in the nation, almost 4 sacks per game, and because they're undersized, they will try to bring as much heat as they can to get to Brohm before he can throw the ball downfield against the secondary.
Jordan Stripling in the game and gets the toss. The first carry for the speedy kind of change of pace back, and not much, about a yard. LeBron Thompson will be the interception there on the stop.
Well, Brohm opened the game going 3 for 3 and taking the team right down the field. And then this last time out, he had a offensive lineman come back into his face and threw the pick. And his quarterback coach happens to be his older brother. Spent about 10 minutes getting it into his head and letting him know. I mean, he did not stop. We asked Brian about that, and he said, yeah, he's pretty much been that way since I was in Pee Wee. Just been the relationship that I've had with him. And he's always pushing, always trying to challenge me to do the right thing and make good decisions.
It's Douglas in motion. Brohm looks that way over the middle, and then Douglas had to work his way back to the outside. Incomplete. Yeah, Brohm said Jeff had a very unusual reaction for him after the West Virginia way.
Well, I know, he gave him a hug. We've talked a lot about how do you stop Brian Brohm? You get him like any quarterback, where he has a little bit, he's starting to feel the heat, starting to feel the pressure. That's the one way to get Brian Brohm out of his comfort zone, is if you can consistently get people in traffic coming towards his body, and they've done that the last 2 drives.
Louisville's punter is Corey Getchie, took over duties a few games ago. Willie Foster, it's a fake. The up snap, and a first down. Breaking into the secondary, Louisville special teams at Nate Harris, the middle linebacker, took this snap and burst forward for 16 yards. Rutgers thought they would have an edge in special teams. Hasn't worked out that way.
Well, they snapped the ball to the up back, which is, to me, pretty amazing to see that the confidence they have. Preston Smith, a linebacker, hands to another linebacker. They have a guy coming around faking a reverse. Kudos to Bobby Petrino for calling that. I want to say Bobby Stoops, because he reminds me of Bob Stoops for being aggressive with the way he's attacking on the road. I love it.
Louisville trying to build on its lead here. Louisville superb on special teams in the first quarter. They have the Spillman kickoff return for a touchdown. They get the 2-point conversion on the blocked PAT run in by Allen. They just convert a fake punt and a run by Nate Harris for a first as we start the second quarter. Crowd trying to impose itself on Brohm. Brohm fires to the end zone off the hand of Douglas. He beat Brandon Reichart, the linebacker coming out of the slot, just missed him. It's Smith on the delay. Adds popping as he gets down inside the 20. Courtney Green on the stop. He's near the first down.
Another great job by the left side of the offensive line. Jamal Westerman, the defensive end, gets pushed inside and sealed by Bussey. Watch this open up. I think they're thinking pass. They start to, as much movement as they have, that's an example how the movement can take you away from the play. And that time, big gain there for Smith.
Already 130 total yards for this Louisville offense. They give it back to Allen. Rutgers defense again allowing only 227 yards per game. Louisville at $133, and we're a minute into the second quarter.
Yeah, well, this is one of the more high-powered offenses in the country. And now that Brohm is healthy, even though he's not having a great start so far, matter of time until he'll probably find his rhythm. And what they've done is they're relying more now on just running the football.
Brohm has missed his last 5 pass attempts. And Smith has blockers out in front. Colby Smith. Another first down. This is more than just a fancy passing offense. They can get tough when they need to.
They can get tough. And what I love is to see a center who's got the athletic ability and toughness to get out in the open field. 77, Eric Wood out of Cincinnati. He comes downfield. Look at this. Look at the seams that they're able to find there. And if you're going to play offensive line for the Louisville Cardinals, you better not only be big, but you better be athletic because they move you around quite a bit.
They have big Allen set 8 yards deep behind the quarterback, gets the handoff and plows to the 5. George Johnson, the true freshman defensive end, on the stop. Rutgers really has to make a stand, Kirk, to avoid falling 2 touchdowns behind.
What's amazing is you look at the score and you look at where Louisville is about to go in again. You think, boy, this is kind of what you expect as far as if you think Louisville's offense is scoring. But Rutgers has played pretty well. Rice has been on the sideline, hasn't had a chance to have a big impact. But Rutgers has held up pretty well for their defensive front so far.
Second and goal. Brohm still's got it. Deflected at the line, incomplete. Eric Foster, the defensive tackle, able to get the big hand up. Foster's the guy that said Brohm will see defensive speed and schemes he hadn't seen all season long. He was very confident. This smack before the game. Good hops to create the deflection.
Yeah, he was a little trash talking during the coin flip, but he had to make a decision. Do I come off of Allen and give Brohm the throw, or do I sit back on Allen because nobody else is out there? He decides to let go of Allen, put the pressure on Brohm, and got a hand up to deflect the ball.
Third and goal. Across the middle, touchdown. It's Jimmy Riley, the senior from Youngstown, with his first career touchdown. He'd been a career special teamer. Finally got in a game last week, had a chance to make an impact against West Virginia. Now his first career touchdown.
What a well-designed route. Riley comes from the inside, goes out, and then comes back underneath. And it was actually Douglas clearing the way as the outside receiver. The linebacker fell with him, and a huge void right there for Riley to get his first score.
This time no adventure in the PAT. Carmody knocks it through, and Rutgers is in a 15-point hole early in the second quarter.
Even a great quarterback like Brian Brohm still needs to work on the little things, the fundamentals, and a little reminder who's there. His quarterback coach and big brother, always to remind him.
A little reminder, is that what it is? That
yeah, I think that's what we'll call it. We'll call it that.
A little reminder.
He worked him over.
Well, way back in the day, Rutgers was more of a basketball school. A guy named Dick Vitale was the coach here, a Jersey guy himself, and he joins us on the phone. And Dick, you have a connection with Greg Schiano's family, I know.
Well, you know, Chris, his mom and dad were so special. Barry Schiano and Renee Baldecki was his mom. She was a cheerleader, and I had a crush on her. Unbelievable. But she wouldn't give me a shot, Chris. I wasn't good-looking like you and Herb Street, so she never gave me a chance. But I'm going to tell you this. If he had half the enthusiasm of his mom and dad, you knew he was going to be a star. When I found out that he was the son of those two people, I said, they got a winner down at Rutgers, and what a winner he is.
He's been able to sell players on a vision, Dick. Did you think you'd ever see a football game in Rutgers involving 2 undefeated teams in November? They have never played a ranked versus ranked game before in football here.
Well, you know what it is? He has that mentality that he believes that you can get great players out of New Jersey, New York, and certainly the metropolitan area, and even down in Florida with his connection from down in Miami. And I remember when I was an assistant there back in the early 70s, the mentality of the people was always that they thought they were mediocre. And if you think you're mediocre, you'll be mediocre. And I tried to come in. They wanted me to recruit guys that look like you, Chris. And I said, who are we going to beat? We're going to beat Columbia? I want to beat Kentucky and North Carolina.
Well, Rutgers just trying to hang on here, Dick. You have C2 running plays from Rice and then Leonard, and now it's going to be third and long.
You know what? I love what he's done, and I know Dick Lloyd, who gave me my great chance. His brother Bobby played with Jimmy Valvano, and Jimmy, I know, would be smiling like crazy seeing Rutgers where they are today. When we came in, we recruited kids like Phil Sellers and Mike Dabney, and they went to the Final Four in 1976. Tom Young added to that group and got James Bailey and Copeland and those guys, and that's what Schiano's doing. Greg is a great, great choice for that job.
That was the year 76 when the football team went undefeated as well. On third and long, Teal, incomplete. It was dropped by Britt over the middle. And the big hits that Louisville's been unleashed on these receivers may be in their head. That's another drop.
That's another drop over the middle of the field. We saw one earlier when Underwood came across, and he knew that Brandon Sharp was going to close in on him. And this time it's the freshman, true freshman, Kenny Britt, who Greg Schiano tells us he's getting better and better and more of an understanding. Like most freshmen, it takes some games and some experience. But that time he was open. He just has to secure the football. Boy, hearing Dick, hearing your voice, I'm ready for some college hoops.
I can't wait. We start on Monday, but I can tell you this, that isn't it sad, though, and I know you guys don't want to buy this. I try to argue with my man, Mr. Fowler, all the time. Isn't it sad that one of these clubs could finish unblemished, and the winner of the Ohio State-Michigan game goes unblemished, and they may not get a chance to play for a national title? How sad is that? That's why in college basketball, we're light years ahead of what they do in football.
Hey, Dick, we can't sort it out in this phone call. Look forward to the start of college hoop season, and thanks for joining us tonight.
Hey, thanks a lot. And Mr. Schiano or Petrino, sounds like the Linguini Bowl.
Brohm has time, fires deep. It's Douglas who shoves the man aside, makes the catch inside the 20-yard line. He beat Manny Collins, and now the crowd's going to get even more agitated. A little contact there as the junior receiver created some space and hauled it in for 39 yards.
Well, Rutgers decided to blitz, and when you blitz, you're leaving your corners on an island out there. Manny Collins gets a little push. There's no question there was a push by Douglas, but why leave it into the hands? Why leave it in the hands of an official? Look at the blitz coming from the far right. It's picked up that time. Nice job by the offensive line. The backs doing their job. And you're right, Douglas gets away with a little bit of a push, but it's nonetheless a big game for this Cardinal offense again.
3 catches already for Harry Douglas. This is Smith on the delay. Flying up into the hole to make the stop is Ron Giroux, the safety. Back to 2nd and 9. Barnage, the tight end, in motion. Goes to the flats. Ball knocked loose. Brohm dives to the floor and gets it back. So the ball knocked out of Brian Brohm's hands by Javon Thompson. Had the interception earlier, but he falls on it. 3rd and long.
They keep blitzing.
Smith on the delay. 3rd and 14. They run it, and he gets nowhere near a first down. Courtney Green on the stop, and we'll see a field goal attempt.
Bobby Petrino, they were able to get into a 3rd and long early in the game, and they hit Urrutia for a first down. This time, he just trying to pick up as many yards as he can, give his kicker a chance to make this field goal.
And Art Carmody taking over the Louisville record for scoring in a career. He can knock this through, and he does it. The lefty, very solid, and the special teams for Louisville have been superb tonight. What a change. Schiano's team falls in a bigger hole now, 25-7 midway in the 2nd quarter. Welcome back to Rutgers. All the build-up here, all the enthusiasm, but Rutgers in a deep hole now, not with an offense built for the comeback, down 18.
No, that's why it was 6:34 to go here in the half. They have to be able to put something together to be able to get back in this game. Remember, they took the ball to start the game, so Louisville will have the choice. Obviously, they'll take the ball to start the 2nd half. With that in mind, Mike Teal and the Scarlet Knights will have to try to put something together in these final 6 minutes.
We'll see if they can make a play on special teams. It's been Louisville dominant in that situation early. On the return, James Townsend has some room, and that's a positive play. It'll get good field position for this Rutgers offense across the 40. 36 yards for Townsend. Vivian Stringer now joins us, the coach of the Scarlet Knights. He's taken 3 different teams to the Final Four. You kind of took a leap of faith coming here a little bit from Iowa and making an investment in this place. What Schiano has done as well. When he took this job, it wasn't a great football job. You see something of a parallel as a program builder?
I'll tell you what, when you've got a great university as we have, and you have the kind of administrative support, and you're in the area of the country that we are in, you have to know that great things can happen. And I think that Greg just methodically built the program in the right way with good people and great support.
You've seen a lot of coaches. Do you see kind of the spark in him? He's able to make players believe when it seems illogical what he's trying to sell them sometimes.
Yeah, because he's able to help them to see the dream that he has, and there's no reason. Rutgers is a sleeping giant. New Jersey is a sleeping giant. So his attitude is, if you want to be the best, let's bring the best here, and we're in the best part of the country.
Coach, what do you think it is that maybe people that aren't familiar with this area don't realize that Rutgers can take advantage of? Is it resources? Is it athletic ability?
First of all, I think that some of the greatest players in the country have come from the state of New Jersey. It's supplied some of the top 20 programs always in men and women's basketball, and certainly football. And there goes our Scarlet Knights.
Yeah,
there you go. That's what I'm talking about.
You're allowed to cheer in the press box.
Sorry,
we're going to be objective, but you're allowed to cheer. That's Cordell Young. He's the young back. He's the back of the future. Ray Rice's understudy gets in there, takes the pass from Teal. 39 yards later, that's the spark the offensive team for Rutgers needs.
I like the fact that they moved Young, who, as Chris, you said, has great speed. He's a tailback. They moved him out to the slot. Just not a whole lot of sophistication to what they tried to do. They're just able to catch Louisville off guard and coming underneath with kind of that tunnel screen that you see so many of the spread offenses run. And that time, boy, what a big play, and the timing could not have been any better for the Scarlet Knights offense.
You said this is not an offense built for the quick comeback, but they need points in a hurry. Now it's Rice. He's around the corner. Ray Rice headed to the end zone. Yes! Touchdown. And Coach Stringer saying yes and applauding up here. You got good timing.
I tell you, how much better can it be?
Good luck.
We're going to be fine. Our Scarlet Knights are going to be fine.
Good luck charm around here.
Oh, I tell you what, I'm a great football fan, and in particular of the Scarlet Knights. We're going to take care of things.
Well, thanks for joining us tonight. Best of luck for your basketball season as you guys get set to get underway.
Thank you so much, and go Scarlet Knights. Appreciate it.
You may not want to leave. 3 or 4 plays that she puts the ball in the end zone.
Yeah, we're going to have to stay here a little bit longer.
Ray Rice's 14th rushing touchdown on the season.
It's also nice to see Ray Rice, who, if there's one player that America is familiar with on the Rutgers team, it is Ray Rice. And that was the first time we've had a chance to see him unveiled. And you can see that burst that he has, that low center of gravity, how tough it is to bring him down. He's a very sturdy back.
Ito, no problem on the conversion from 5 yards further back. Vivian Stringer, the Rutgers women's basketball coach, cheering here in the booth as Rice got the touchdown, but it's Louisville with an 11-point lead as the Scarlet Knights face a halftime deficit for the first time this year. Kirk, they were down briefly to Ohio U, 7-zip, trailed South Florida by 4, but a different deal against Louisville, and you would not have thought that a huge edge in special teams would be the big reason.
Yeah, but I think those experiences you just talked about, I think give the Scarlet Knights hope as they're in there at halftime, and I think that's really the message. If I were Greg Schiano, that I would talk to my team about, hey, number one, we're at home. But Rutgers, this first possession for their defense is Brohm will get the ball. Will be very important to see what kind of second half we're going to see.
That's not too bad. You saw the pressure stats for Schiano. I mean, Brohm's a 63% passer. He's 8 for 17 in the first half, but had the 2 big passes. Aaron visited with Schiano coming out of the locker room.
Yeah, guys, and a very calm Coach Schiano coming out of the locker room. He told me for their defense, pretty happy with what they're doing so far, particularly in the last couple of series. Wants to make it uncomfortable, though, for Brian Brohm. Keep him on the sidelines. He said, we got to get Ray Rice involved more on the offense and look for them to throw to Brian Leonard here coming up in the second half, guys.
Leonard has been quiet as a pass receiver. He comes into the game leading Rutgers in that category, but they've kept a close eye on the senior, and Rice will be active as long as Rutgers can stay within striking distance, and that means getting a stop here on defense to begin the third quarter.
Remember the last time this defense of Rutgers was out on the field towards the end of the first half, they came up with a big 3-and-out when the ball was deep in Louisville territory. Then they ended up roughing the punter to give Brian Brohm another chance, but still didn't give up any points.
You know, Ito's been very good at reaching the end zone on touchbacks all year, not tonight, and once again they'll have a kickoff return attempt. This time, good coverage by the Scarlet Knights. Zaire Kitchen there on the stop, but Rutgers special teams solid throughout. Not tonight. Big hit here, though.
Well, Kitchen got into the kitchen here of Guy. I mean, that was a big hit. Comes in high. It's a clothesline, but he did not get his hands up around the face mask.
The guy goes $160, so it doesn't take that much to bring him down. Brohm runs out of time and runs forward for a short gain.
We saw in the first half how many times Louisville went underneath. One of the adjustments that looks like Rutgers will make is as the receiver comes underneath, this time he has to negate because there's pressure underneath. That play right there to Riley worked to Harry Douglas and Riley quite a bit. Great adjustment there by Greg Schiano taking that away.
And Smith cuts back inside again, running through some arm tackles. Falls forward for a couple. George Johnson on the stop. Smith has proven to be a real physical runner out of Tallahassee. Enjoying the fact that he feels like he's made the right choice here, choosing Louisville as the hometown Seminoles struggle. 3rd and 4. Four-receiver set. Brohm over the middle, incomplete. I thought we might see a flag for interference. And Geralt, the safety, was all over the receiver.
I think he's got his feet tangled up with the receiver. Again, it's the underneath route. Comes in there a little bit. Yeah, comes in early. Brian Brohm say, whoa, wait a second. That was big-time pass interference, but Rutgers gets away with it. Not only the feet getting tangled up, he came in and made contact with his body, but Louisville loves the underneath routes against the man coverage from Rutgers. But a big stop to force the punt.
Itchy gets it away. Foster has some room. Oh, just tripped up there. A flag is down on the return. Foster had some daylight. Latarius Thomas just able to get him by the ankle, but Bentley looks to be on the Scarlet Knights. Teal fakes the pitch, has it across the middle, almost intercepted. He was looking for Kenny Brett, but Latarius Thomas read the play and had a diving chance at a pick.
Well, he saw the play developing, took a chance. That's a true freshman. And Thomas, the safety, who's got a tremendous future and upside for the Louisville defense, taking on Britt coming in. He read the eyes of the quarterback, Teal, and almost came in there to make the interception. You know, last week we got done doing Louisville, West Virginia. You know what the knock, of course, on Louisville was? Their offense is caliber of the top 3 BCS team, but not their defense. How about the defense tonight so far?
It's been very strong. We go back to Rice on 2nd and 10, and he just muscles straight ahead. Back to Latarius Thomas for a second. He's the first true freshman to start here at Louisville under Petrino. One of the guys comes from Florida. Both these schools recruit a lot in Florida. Basically getting guys that the Gators, the Noles, and the Hurricanes are maybe not looking at in most cases. And that's good. You get a lot of good guys down there.
There's a lot of depth. It's a deep pool down there. And you see Latarius Thomas, who's able to help this defense out. 6'2", about 210 pounds as a true freshman. It's a big-time player.
You see what they've got on an important 3rd and 6. Teal has time across the middle. It's high and it's complete. Running for daylight is Britt. The freshman in a foot race. Loses the football. It's loose. Did he get it back? Rutgers ball inside the 5. Not just an enormous conversion, but a huge play and a crucial fumble recovery as William Gay knocked it away. Britt got it back 74 yards.
I think it's interesting here to see that the young man who comes in for the true freshman is Russell, John Russell, number 13. His poor angle and the way he was breaking on the ball, and Britt is very lucky to get the ball back. His poor angle allowed the freshman to cut in front and eventually run all the way down the field. And how about the hustle there by William Gay, and almost gets the ball back to Louisville.
1st and goal. Rice, left side, touchdown. I told you the motto, chopping wood. That's what Rutgers does, and they've chopped the lead down to 5 now.
One tree down. After that play.
Down by 5, they'll go for 2. Said this wasn't an offense built in a quick strike comeback, Kirk, but now a couple of touchdowns. They look dead in that second quarter.
Showed great patience to come back into this football game. Did not panic, stuck to their guns with their offense.
Under the back, 3 receivers all to the right side as Teal rolls that way. Flips it into the end zone, caught! It was Dennis Campbell, the freshman. Suddenly, Schiano's team down just a field goal. Mito again short on the kickoff, and Spillman will have a chance at the 3. Reverses direction. Look at the burst from Jawan Spillman. He's in the open. Spillman just corralled at the 30. It was a 51% third down conversion rate all season long. Just 3 of 12 tonight. This place is laughing now. Sack. Now the confusion's on the offensive side. Ramel Meakin's got him.
This crowd right now, you see 44,000, you say, oh, compared to some of the bigger stadiums in the country, that's not a huge stadium. I can tell you right now, Chris and I travel every week. This is a loud stadium, and the offensive lineman couldn't hear the snap count. That's what allowed Meakins to get through.
4th sack for the Knights. Once again, a hand in Brohm's face. The flag flies incomplete. It's Frierson.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Number 80 on the offense. Full penalty is declined. 3rd down.
Brohm. Long way to go for the first down. He'll get nowhere near it. Frierson. Devin McCourtney able to chase him down. Once again, Louisville forced to 3 and out.
Great pressure. They're going to bring the blitz, and they're going to play man coverage behind it. The man coverage held up, and this is as much about being a coverage sack as it is the pressure. Look at the great coverage downfield, and Brian Brohm, who's not real elusive, again has to escape the pressure of Rutgers defense.
A low kick. Willie Foster has a chance. And squirts forward out near the 40. And now it's the Louisville defense that will have to step up. Rutgers with huge momentum. Kenny Britt in motion. They hand it to Rice, who smacks forward for about 5. Well, now they're back in the game, down only 3. They can kind of stay in their comfort zone, which means running Rice more. Final 15 minutes on the banks of the Raritan. It's a 3-point game. Number 3 Louisville hanging on, about to get the football back.
Well, it's Scarlet Fever here in New Jersey as we start up the 4th quarter. Rutgers only down by 3. Kirk and Chris talking earlier about defensive tackle Amobi Okoye, 19-year-old senior, and what a leader he is for Louisville. Talk about an accelerated life for this guy. When he was 2.5 years old, he started school in Nigeria. His mom was a principal out there. At 12 years old, his family moved to the United States, and he started high school as a freshman. He signed with Louisville when he was 15, and at 16, he became the youngest player in college football to play 13 games. Hey, guys, people ask him why he's doing so well this year. At 19, he says, I'm just aging.
He didn't act like 19, though. He's got a very mature presence about him, Aaron. Thanks. This will be big headlines in New York tomorrow if the Scarlet Knights can come off the mat and upset number 3 Louisville. It was 25-7 in the second quarter. Cardinals had all kinds of momentum, but this Rutgers defense has turned it around, and the offense has gotten them close. Still down 3. Teal takes it, steps up, hit as he throws. Incomplete. Rice got a hand in it over the middle as Teal picks himself up slowly.
Still seeing this Rutgers offense relying on Mike Teal, believing in Mike Teal's leadership. to try to get them to the eventual either tying score or winning score or go-ahead score. Because, Chris, for people not familiar, just tuning in with Rutgers, this is a team that relies heavily on running the football. And tonight they've gone against that, trying to give Teal some help to try to take the pressure off of Ray Rice.
It's Rice who gets it on the draw. Picks his way up the middle. Ray Rice. First down yardage near midfield. You can see the patience, the vision of Rice there. He waited for his blockers. Kind of hid behind the offensive lineman. Nice run.
Yeah, it was a great job of hiding at 5'9" behind the offensive line. But how about his leading blocker? Right there at 23. I love to see Brian Leonard, a senior who came back for his senior year. One of the more versatile backs coming into this year, but hasn't had a chance to get the ball much because 27, the true sophomore, Ray Rice has taken most of the load, but Brian Leonard, a true team player.
Never blocked in his life until this year. He's become a much better blocker.
Opening up the hole that time for his teammate and partner, Ray Rice.
And it's Leonard in motion once again. The lead blocker, Rice, once again, finding room up the middle. William Gay on the stop, but 16 more yards, and this is the typical Rutgers offense.
And here he is again, picking up a block. This time, watch him coming right towards you. Picks up a block on the outside linebacker. Preston Smith steps up. He thinks he's got to play, but how about that? Teammate. These guys have become great friends. That block again turns Ray Rice loose for another big game.
2nd and 10. Guards jump but get back. Rice on the toss. Smack straight ahead. Preston Smith, the linebacker, met him again, but Rice won that little battle.
I found it interesting sitting around talking with the players yesterday. Ray Rice is getting all the accolades, 3rd in the nation in rushing, but Aaron, it's Brian Leonard, who's a senior. He's kind of the workhorse. He's had to step aside and be a great teammate and a great, kind of a big brother to the younger back.
Absolutely, Herb. Not really the way he thought he would end his college career, but he said, you know what? I'm not getting the carries. I'm not scoring as much as I wanted to, but we were losing when I was doing that. Now we're winning, and now I'm enjoying it.
On 3rd and 3, short hop by Teal. Trying to get the ball to Dennis Campbell out there, and now down 3. Schiano will trot out Jeremy Ito. Ito, very low-key guy as he continues to pile up great stats as a kicker. He's got great range, very accurate, and will be one of the great kickers Rutgers has ever had. 46 yards.
This is from 46. He has a long of 53, so plenty of leg to knock this through.
This for the tie. He's got it. Straight points for Rutgers. We're dead even. 10-13 to play. Raucous and rockin' Rutgers. The Scarlet Knights back in this thing. It's 25 apiece. And number 3 Louisville. Forget style points. Forget trying to impress the pollsters in the BCS. They're just trying to get out of here with a win. Just trying to survive. This whole place energized. First by Rutgers defense, which has held an offense that averages almost 40 points a game, almost 500 yards a game, to virtually nothing after halftime. And the offense has responded with 18 points. I'm stunned that Rutgers has been this smothering against an offense that we've seen, Kirk, one of the best in the country.
This is anybody who's questioned Rutgers' validity and whether or not they are a team that deserves to be 15th in the country. This is not, oh boy, Louisville should have killed Rutgers. What's wrong with Louisville? This is a good football team tonight that we're seeing from the Scarlet Knights.
And finally, Ito, little adrenaline, able to power the ball through the end zone for a touchback. It's Brohm again, short, overthrown. That one was on the QB. was looking for Douglas, who is pretty well defended by Courtney Green, but throw high.
Brian Brohm got his feet turned. He got settled. This is something that his brother was talking to him about earlier, getting your feet set. He actually moves his feet right into the direction of his target. Perfect alignment. It's just another example of a quarterback, as good as Brian Brohm is, who can't get comfortable in the pocket. We've seen Brady Quinn, who's a great quarterback, go through this at times this year. Sometimes when you get out of rhythm, it becomes tough on your accuracy.
Anthony Allen goes out in the pattern. Brohm has to escape. Once again, a nice job to get positive yardage because the Scarlet Knights were all over him quickly. That was Eric Foster again with the quick pressure.
What happens is a quarterback has an ability to, once you get into rhythm, you almost throw without even thinking. And Brian Brohm right now is thinking about that pressure. He may not be actually looking at it, but he is feeling it. Tyler Palko, who's a great quarterback, when he played Rutgers, did the same thing. He felt that heat, and it's enough to get you out of sync.
3rd and 5. Again, the short completion. First down, cutting back into Rutgers territory is Colby Smith. They use their backs as receivers a lot. 16 yards for Smith and another 3rd down conversion.
Talked the whole game about taking chances by blitzing, by bringing pressure against a Louisville offense that can score within one play. If you're not on top of every receiver and every back and you leave one empty and Brohm has time, he'll find that open man, and that time he did for the first.
Ray Rice says, get me the football back. But a couple of crucial conversions for Louisville. They'll run it to Smith on 1st down. This is a Louisville offense that is capable of, despite 4 straight 3-and-outs, a lot of negative yardage, of methodically moving down the field and taking the lead and leaving Rutgers not much time.
But on a normal night, you would say that they are capable of methodically moving the ball down the field. It would be uncharacteristic of what we've seen tonight. The big play has to still be there. The big play threat against this man pressure from Rutgers still has to be a factor. They can score in a hurry.
You look to Douglas in the slot. Now Brohm just has to tuck it up. Plow ahead for a very short gain.
There's no way to execute an offense when the quarterback's in the shotgun. By the time he takes the snap, he takes one step back and he starts to step up because he's feeling the pocket close in on him.
One more key 3rd down for Brohm. Once again, pressure on him as he throws. It's caught, but not a 1st down. Jimmy Riley got his hands on it, but he couldn't twist for the 1st down.
They're bringing a lot of pressure here. This time from the boundary side, the weak side, and the only route that he has a time to throw is the 4-yard route. He can't wait on the 15 or 18-yard route because the pressure is in there well before he has a chance to be patient and look downfield.
Not what they were looking for, but they got a couple of 1st downs and may be able to knock it down in there if Getchy can pin Rutgers back. He's approaching 5.5 minutes to play in regulation. Very high kick, no returner back there, and Getchy gets a nice bounce. It kind of spins backwards to the 10-yard line. And Rutgers will start actually at the 8, 92 yards from the end zone. Trying to beat a ranked team for the first time since '88. Never beaten a team ranked as high as number 3 Louisville, though. Not even close. Rutgers back on offense. It's fun to be a part of a benchmark game for a program, Kirk. We saw it last week at Louisville. For Rutgers, you knew this would be a game that folks around here would talk about for a long, long time, regardless of whether they won or lost. A little longer if they win, especially if they can come from 25-7 down and get this done. 18 straight points in this game. For the team that hasn't beaten a ranked opponent since '88. And it's Rice picking his way for a short game. Yeah, it wasn't just that Louisville had a 25-7 lead, had all the momentum. It was the way they took the lead. So many kinds of plays that you think would just be a shot to the solar plexus of Rutgers.
The more I'm sitting here watching this game unfold, the more I'm gaining more and more respect for Rutgers. And it just reminds me of a team that is so hungry and so determined. No matter what's thrown at them, they just keep fighting, and they just will not go away. And now they've put themselves in a position with under 5 minutes to go to still win this game.
And now it's Rice running right. Remember, he's so strong as the game wears on. He's pretty fresh tonight. Not nearly his usual workload, and we'll see if this Louisville defense can stand up to it. 2 carries and a quick first down.
They've heard all week that they're the Achilles heel to this Louisville team that's put up at number 3 in the BCS standings, and the game is right in front of them. They've got Rutgers pinned down, and they did have them pinned down inside the 20 before that first down. Game's in their hands.
Ray Rice over the 100-yard mark. Play action. Teal tips, caught across the 30. Staying inbounds is Tyquan Underwood, and he will have first down yardage.
Love the call on 1st and 10. Mike Teal, we've talked about him all night, how the game would come down to his ability to make enough plays in the passing game to take some of the pressure off of Rice in the running game.
Rice, and a good job there, Earl Heyman. Stopping Rice, but even what looks like a kind of a nothing play picks up almost 5.
As they continue to eat up yardage and get out of dangerous territory, the clock continues to go down, and Jeremy Ito, who already hit a 46-yarder to tie the game, has the range from over 50 if it comes down to that.
If they get to the 35 of Louisville, which is about 30 more yards, they're in range. Rice stopped for a loss. Good penetration by Malik Jackson.
I know that this is part of their offense, but with the game
methodical for you?
Well, it's not so much that, it's not a handoff here. This is a pitch. Yeah. And not your traditional toss sweep. This is almost like a handoff pitch that Ray Rice handled very well, but
he got the ball quickly. It was a risk,
and he got hit as soon as he held on to the ball.
Well, they got a long way to go to get in Ito's range, and it's 3rd and 6. Underwood in motion. Leonard is the setback. They look in the flats, and the senior's got it, and he's got room. Brian Leonard, very near field goal range inside the Louisville 40. That's a huge part of their offense. They hadn't been tonight. They saved it for a good time, 26 yards.
It's a nice, we'll call it a rub route because I'm an offensive guy, but Tyquan Underwood comes from the outside and basically picks Nate Harris, not allowing him to get out to the running back, Brian Leonard. And not only does he catch the football, but because Harris gets caught up in traffic, there's no one there to pick up Leonard, and he scrambles all the way downfield inside the 40-yard line.
Yeah, the first catch for the leading receiver coming in, but a huge time for it. And now they're just really close to Ito's range, and inside of 2 minutes to go. Teal wants to make no mistakes at this point.
Well, they have a chance now to pick up yards, eat a little bit of clock, and get the ball to the middle of the field with 1 timeout left. They'll have to save that to try to get the ball to the middle of the field for the field goal opportunity.
It's Campbell in motion. They keep it on the ground, and breaking free is Rice. Ray Rice inside the 20, and they're well within field goal range. This drive started at their 8-yard line.
Some great blocks in the trenches here. Sam Johnson, the tight end, picks up a great block that actually provides enough of a seam there for Rice to get through. What's amazing here, Chris, is you're talking about 8 white jerseys. The 9th white jersey, and Gavin Smart walks up as the ball is snapped, and they still end up springing one for a big gain into 9 men up in the box.
Rice was 69 yards in the 4th quarter so far. He'll get it again, of course. Bulls forward. Down near a minute, and a timeout is now taken. It's a timeout on the Louisville side. Talked about, confidence and belief, Kirk. I'm not sure how many people in this place, if they were telling you the truth, really had belief the Rutgers could come from behind. 25-7 down. Louisville moving up and down the field. Their own team breaking down on special teams. How many believers were there back in the second quarter? Look at this place now.
25-7 with an offense that's ranked 114th in the nation in throwing the football.
Rodney Dangerfield, they're never going to get as much respect as they think they deserve, but they could get a whole bunch more than they had tonight if they can finish this. They give it to Rice, and he just plows straight ahead inside the 15. Once again, Louisville's defense spending a timeout. It'll be third down. Inside Ray Rice. Power this team down the field. 42 yards on this drive, Kurt.
On 7 carries, that's 6 yards a carry. And have to reiterate, he hasn't had a great night, but on a drive where they needed him, started at their own 9-yard line. He's able to get into position there, Chris, and with it going up against a 9-man front. Great job by the line.
Looks like they'll follow your suggestion. Teal just takes the snap, moves to the center of the field, and falls down at the 15. So the field goal attempt for Jeremy Ito, the junior, all the way from Redlands, California, to the banks of the Raritan, and a chance to provide the winning points in the biggest victory in Rutgers' career. It'll be about a 33-yarder.
Said about 20 seconds. It's going to be right about at 20, maybe 21.
He called the timeout with 21 seconds to play. Schiano was criticized early in his tenure here. He was the youngest head coach at 1A when he took over, Kirk, for some time management issues, not finishing games well, managing games well. He's learned a lot in a lot of aspects, but that's one of them. And now Jeremy Ito. Anthony Cowie to hold. Clark Harris to snap it for the lead. Got very quiet in here. Missed it. A flag is down. A flag is down before the ball was snapped. Ito hooked it.
Louisville is offsides.
Wow.
Louisville offsides.
Number 21 on the defense. 5-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. Repeat, fourth down.
A reprieve for Ito. Very reliable kicker who hooked that one.
William Gay, who's one of the best defensive players on the Louisville team.
Kirk, and he snuck off on the left end. Had nothing to do with any attempted block.
Not at all.
You can see Teal's reaction after the miss. What a mental mistake for William Gay. And Ito, another chance now. This time it'll be from 28 yards. A mulligan.
Should ask our expert in the booth here, Mike Black, who kicked at Boise State, about how it helps you here this second go-round. Typically, kickers, after they miss it and get a second shot, they tend to relax. He has to keep his head down. Last time he pulled his head up.
Schiano saying, hey, we're still chopping wood. We've got a 3-point lead with 13 seconds to go, but he wants his guys to focus on finishing this thing. But what a finish to the drive as Ito makes good on the mulligan. And Rutgers marches from their 9 all the way down to set up a chip shot, thanks mainly to their stud, Ray Rice, and that offensive line that wore down Louisville's defense in the second half. I'd be very surprised if they give Spillman a chance to return the kickoff. He had the touchdown earlier. Yeah, I mean, football invented here, 1869. They got it started against Princeton, but they've waited a long time for a moment like this. Could they seize it? Didn't look like it in the early going. Falling in a deep hole, but what a response. A night that no one in New Jersey who follows football will ever forget. And now just 13 seconds away, an agonizing loss this will be for Louisville unless they can conjure a miracle here. They had their moment a week ago, stepped up, survived it against West Virginia. Maybe the emotional drain had something to do, if you're searching for reasons on the Louisville side, something to do with the second half performance here. Mostly the guys in red, but if you're searching for answers on the Louisville side,
right,
why they could never get it going, that might be one. Well, they will kick it deep. They will kick it deep, and Spillman will have a chance. That's a surprise. He's got some room. Jawan Spillman with 1 second to go does get it across the 40, and now the students come out of the end zone emptying on the field. There's still a second to play. The Rutgers players trying to turn the fans around, and now they're coming at it from both sides. Hold on, this game is not over.
You don't want to get a 15-yard penalty to give Brohm that much more of a chance at this Hail Mary if they can get the snap off. Remember, the game clock will start as soon as the referee and the umpire and everybody restores order.
Coach he just needs 2 more seconds for the win of his life.
Well, he wants them to start the clock, but the crew is doing a great job making sure everybody's in place before they start the game clock. Perfect job.
Whistle, snap, final play. Brohm hit and sacked. A fitting ending to Rutgers' biggest win ever.
What a story. What a story for this program. I think this will help recruiting.
He almost didn't want to allow himself to smile at the end, did he?
Oh.
There's the reaction.
He's had a dream, and he just lived a dream right here.
The performance is Jeremy Ito given a mulligan, able to knock through the game-winning field goal, and Rutgers scores the last 21 points of this game with the biggest victory in school history. Never beaten a team inside of the top 15 before. They knock off number 3 Louisville.